Hello there, dear listener, and welcome. You're in the right place. If you're looking to rest, unwind, and gently drift off to sleep while learning something curious about the quiet corners of history. Tonight, let's take a soft and slow journey into the peaceful side of military life. Not the battles or strategies, but something far more ordinary and soothing. We're going to explore what soldiers throughout history ate. From warm stews simmering over smoky fires to hard, long-lasting biscuits tucked deep in leather pouches, this story will guide you through the tastes, textures, and quiet routines of soldiers long ago. So, take a deep breath and settle in. Let your body sink into the bed or chair beneath you, and let the sounds of ancient kitchens, field meals, and wooden spoons lull you toward sleep. Let's begin. In the heart of the Roman Empire, imagine the quiet clatter of iron pots, the hum of conversation in Latin, and the rhythmic sound of a soldier sharpening his blade, not for battle, but out of habit. Roman soldiers, or legionnaires, were methodical, and their food reflected this order. Their daily rations included wheat, lots and lots of wheat. It was ground into flour and used to make panis militaris, or military bread. Tough, dry, and long-lasting, it was often soaked in wine or water to make it easier to chew. They also carried dried legumes like lentils and chickpeas, which they'd boil into simple, earthy stews. A small amount of salted pork or dried meat added flavor, and vinegar mixed with water, called posca, kept them hydrated. It was sour, yes, but clean and safe. Roman soldiers cooked in small groups called contubernia, each of about 8 men. They shared tools, duties, and meals, a little family of warriors on the march. Now, let's wander forward in time, into the Middle Ages. Picture a knight, not in shining armor, but wrapped in a simple cloak, sitting beneath a gray sky in a wooden fort. You might imagine knights feasting on lavish meals, and yes, at the Lord's table, there were roast meats and fresh breads. But during campaigns, food was sparse and humble. Hard cheese, salted meats, onions, and coarse bread were common. Sometimes, if luck allowed, there would be a pot of pottage, a slow-cooked mix of whatever grains, vegetables, and scraps were available. Food was carried in wooden boxes called bento. Yes, like today's lunch boxes. Even in the middle of conflict, a samurai's meal was an act of mindfulness. Green tea, warm and bitter, was sipped slowly, not only to hydrate, but to center the spirit. Meals were often taken in silence, with deep respect for the food and those who prepared it. Drifting across time again, we find ourselves in 1860s America. Picture rows of gray and blue tents among fields, a tin coffee pot steaming over a fire, and the scent of hardtack and salt pork lingering in the air. Civil War soldiers often ate hardtack, a dry, square biscuit that could last for months. So hard, it was sometimes soaked in coffee or soup just to soften it. Salted meat, beans, cornmeal, and sometimes dried fruit made up the rest of their diet. It was heavy, repetitive, but it kept them going. They shared stories while stirring pots, swapped recipes, and sometimes sang quiet songs as the stars blinked above. As we move into the 20th century, things became more industrial, yet still surprisingly simple. World War I soldiers often lived in trenches, deep, muddy lines in the earth where meals were a break from the fear. They were issued tinned meats, like bully beef, corned beef, hard biscuits, and sometimes jam or tea. Stew would be passed down the line in metal buckets. It might be lukewarm, watery, or bland, but it was a moment of calm. They learned to savor small comforts, a warm cup of tea, a slice of bread, or a letter from home read by lamplight. Across centuries and continents, from the Roman Empire to the muddy trenches of the First World War, soldiers' meals weren't about taste or luxury. They were about survival and small comforts. A bite of bread, a warm drink, a shared bowl, a moment of calm. In every camp, every fort, every trench, food created routine. It was something to look forward to, something familiar in the unfamiliar. Even the simplest stew told a story of home, hope, and endurance. And as you rest now, let your imagination linger on a crackling fire, a bowl of something warm, and the stars above ancient camps. Let sleep find you in the quiet rhythm of spoons, the steam from a simple pot, and the peaceful weight of history's forgotten meals. Thank you for joining me tonight. As your eyelids grow heavier, and the past fades gently into dreams, know that these quiet tales will be here